Hello guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel and to this week's episode of Film It Friday. Today I've headed out into the lovely market town of Salisbury. It is really wet and windy and miserable, but I'm going to be testing out the Sony 85mm 1.8. As you can see, it's just about getting dark. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I want to do a low light test, see how well it autofocuses, how sharp is it, and generally, do you need an 85 1.8? So as it's Christmas, I thought I'd come to the Christmas markets in the town centre. I'm going to have a wander around and see what I can find, and I'm also going to head over to the cathedral and see how well this lens performs. Now, shooting with an 85mm is very different than shooting with, say, a 50mm, or as I'm shooting with on that camera, a 16mm. With those two lenses, you can kind of run and gun and you can get into the right positions for your shots. With the 85mm, you have to be much more patient and you have to plan your shots a lot more. You have to know where you have to be in order to get the subject in your frame. So I know the question on the edge of most of your lips is how creamy is that bokeh? So we're going to walk around and see what we can find to test that. I'm shooting everything today at 1.8. I'm going to try and keep the shutter speed above 125th of a second, and I'm just going to ramp that ISO up until there's no more light. I've got a feeling it's going to do quite well. Now the focus does seem pretty snappy. All the images look sharp so far, but we're going to have to wait until we get it back on a computer to see how well we really did. To be honest, at the moment I'm pretty impressed. Still not missing my Canon. I love my Sonys. So I found out what those orbs are outside. There's a festival going on at the cathedral called I Shall Turn Darkness into Light. And there's also some really cool trees in the courtyard. So if you're planning to use this lens for video production, I really recommend that you use it on either a monopod or a tripod, possibly a crane. It would work really well on a crane, but it would take some setting up and it would be quite hard to frame up your shot. I've just tried to do some filming of those trees in the middle of the cathedral handheld, and it's quite hard to keep steady, as you would imagine. The autofocus is starting to die a little bit as well. It is very dark in here, and I imagine if I had a Canon 5D Mark IV with a Canon 85mm lens on it, I wouldn't be having the same issue. So I've just been reviewing some of the images that I've taken with the 85mm, and to be honest, I really like it. There's some really nice images in there. They all seem pin sharp, and contrast, saturation, they're what I would expect from a lens that costs £600. I just want to talk a little bit about the build quality of this lens. It feels really sturdy in the hands. It is a beast of a lens. It's got an autofocus and manual focus switch, which you don't really get on very many Sony lenses. You've got a really nice smooth focus ring, a solid lens hood, and the lens cap, which is in my bag, is also a really nice fit. It is quite a heavy lens compared to some of my other lenses, but there's a lot of glass in there and you're getting a lot of quality for that weight. So like I said before, the festival that's going on at the cathedral is called I Will Turn Darkness into Light, and I feel like that's exactly what this lens does to the A6000 series of cameras, probably the A7 series of cameras too. It really does take every little bit of light that it can get hold of and perform the best that it can do, the best that you can expect from a mirrorless camera. So that about rounds it up for today. I really hoped you enjoyed this episode of Film It Friday. If you did, please like the video below and subscribe so you'll never miss another episode. See you again next week.